All right, guys, sales tax. Something that maybe some of you aren't really familiar with. I don't know how much you've spent money yourself at the store or purchasing different things, but hopefully by now you've at least heard a little bit about what sales tax is. But just in case, sales tax, bottom line is it's an amount of money whenever you buy something, that it's a percent of what you buy that has to go, that you have to pay extra. So if you go to the grocery store and you buy a bunch of food, sales tax is an amount that gets added to what you're buying. And that money goes towards different branches of the government to help pay for things. Now, obviously, this is very applicable to the real world. This is something, if you're saving your money to go buy something at the store, this is something you've got to keep in mind, because not if what you're buying is $20 and you go to the store with $20, you're not going to have enough. You've got to understand sales tax and that you're actually going to have to pay a little bit more. And it varies depending on what you're buying and what state you live in and where you're shopping. But sales tax is just an amount that gets added to whatever you're buying. Okay, so first of all, for the most part, you're not going to be looking for the percent of tax. And that's how tax is set up. It's a percent of what you're buying that gets added to it. And usually in the math that we do this year, I'm going to give you the percent. You're not going to be looking for the percent. I'm going to give you the percent and you're going to figure out what the new cost of that object or groceries or gas or car, whatever it is that you're buying, what the new cost of that is going to be. However, sometimes we are looking for the percent. So if you come to a problem that has you looking for a percent, I put a hint right here for you. Anytime a percent is missing, you are going to be looking for the percent of change formula. Okay, we did percent of change 2 days ago. And if you're looking for the percent, that's the formula that you're going to use. And I'll walk you through one down here, but just keep that in mind. It's really the same process, okay? So let's just get into this. Sales tax. A gym bag costs $24 and has an 8% tax. What will be the final cost of the gym bag? So the cost is $24, but the store or whoever I'm buying this from is going to add 8% tax to that $24. And that's what we're going to have to pay. So we want to figure out what that final amount is going to be. That's what this means when it says the final cost, is what is the cost with the original amount plus the tax that I have to pay. So we're going to get into the proportion here in a minute, but what you've done in the past, and it still works just as well to do it this way now, is to, whenever we're looking for the percent of a number, guys, remember that means that we take the number and we multiply it by the percent. If I'm looking for 8% of $24, I just multiply $24 and 8%. So we're going to multiply the original cost, and the percent of tax. And this is going to give us the amount of tax that we're going to pay. Okay? Now you need to be really careful when you do this. So it says to multiply the original cost and the percent of tax. So my original cost is $24 and I want to multiply that not just by 8. I need to multiply that by 8%. So you've got two options. In your calculator, you can put 24 times 8%. Or you can change it to a decimal, the 8%, and multiply it that way. Either way, it's really important that you multiply it by the percent, not just the 8. So let's do 24 times 8%. So I'm going to hit my second percent button right here. So now those match, 24 times 8%. When I hit enter, it tells me that 8% of 24, the amount of tax I'm going to pay, is $1.92. So that comes out to $1.92. That's the amount of tax I'm going to pay on top of my original amount. So I need to add this number. That's step 2. Add this number to your original price. And this is our cost. This is the final cost, I guess. So we're going to take that amount, $1.92, and we're going to add it to the $24. which I think we can do in our heads. So what $24 plus $1.92 is just $25.92. And I'm going to write that with a dollar sign and cents because it's money. So that's one way to do this. And I want you to be careful because we found a couple of different things. We used the multiplication to find the amount of tax. And sometimes that's the question. Sometimes the question is going to ask you, how much tax do you have to pay? Other times it's going to ask you, what is the total amount that you're going to pay? And then you have to add them together. So be careful with the questions. Make sure you read them very carefully so that you can make sure and answer whatever it is that's being asked. Okay. Now, as far as proportions go, that's one way to solve the problem. I told you everything that we're doing, really, that's just kind of a shortcut for the proportion that's involved here. So our proportion, so you can see what it looks like, on the left-hand side, we still have a percent. We've got the percent of tax that goes on the bottom. And that, of course, goes over 100 because it's a percent. So the percent of tax goes on top, 100 goes on the bottom. And if this is the percent of tax, then on this side is going to be the amount of tax. Remember, percent of, amount of. And then if this is the original 100%, then this down here on the bottom is going to be the original cost. Not the new cost, not with the tax. This is the original amount before we found the tax. Okay, so in this problem, we've got a lot of these numbers. We know the percent of tax is 8%, so I'm going to put 8 over 100 equals the amount of tax. I don't know what that is. I need that amount, so I'm going to put X there, but I do know the original cost. The original cost was $24, so that goes on the bottom. And then I can cross multiply and divide. Now, when I do that, really all I'm doing is multiplying by a percent. That's the same process. So 8 times 24 is going to be, what, 192, and then divided by 100 comes out to be $1.92, which is exactly what we got before. Now, again, this is X, and X represents the amount of tax. So if that's the question, great, I'm done. But if the question asks, like this one, what will be the final cost? I've got to take that $1.92, add it to my $24, and get my $25.92. That'll be my final cost, okay? This process works fine. You can just multiply by the percent. Be careful. Sometimes the proportion is going to be an easier route for you to go, especially if you're looking for the percent. If you're looking for the percent, the proportion is definitely going to be a lot easier. So let's try a couple of these. Original cost is $20. Sales tax is 6.25%. So let's do this one with a proportion. And then the second one we'll just multiply. So if my original amount is $20, that is going to go on the right-hand side, on the bottom. I'm looking for the total price, but I need the tax first. So that I'm going to put my X up here. I've got 6.25%. So that's going to go on top, and 100 goes on bottom. So I cross multiply and I divide. I do 6.25 times my $20 divided by 100. And I find out that my tax, the amount of tax, X is going to be $1.25. So that's my tax. To get the total price, I need to add these two numbers together, my tax and my original amount. So 20 plus $1.25 becomes $21.25. And I'm done. Okay, second one here. Let's do kind of our shortcut a little bit. $95 is the cost, original cost, and I need to add 8.75%. So I'm going to do $95, and I'm going to multiply that by 8.75%. And I'm going to be really careful that I remember the percent sign. 95 times 8.75% is $8.31.25. Okay, well, what we need to be really careful of on this one is, I guess, really estimating, because we don't just have $8.31. We have $8.31 with 25,000 or 10 thousandths, I guess, and that's going to, parts of a penny. So let's round that the way the store would round up money. We've talked about this before, that if it's 0.3125 cents, the store is going to round that up to 32. Okay, so we're going to say our amount is $8.32 because that's probably what the store is going to make us pay. So we're going to take $8.32 and we are going to add that to our original $95 and we're going to get $103.32. So my total price is $103, excuse me, and 32 cents. Okay? All right, last one. We're looking for the sales tax. So it gives me the original amount. Let's just start with our proportion right here. I'm looking for the percent of tax right there on top. And it tells me my original amount is $12. And then it tells me my total price is $12.39. Now, I need to be really careful. Some of you are going to want to just take this number and stick it on top. But on top is only supposed to be the tax, and $12.39 is the total new price. But that's kind of simple because that means I only added 39 cents. So my tax must have been 0.39. It was only 39 cents. So that's what's going to go on top. And then I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 0.39 times 100. And then I'm going to divide that by 12. And I get $3, or sorry, not $3. We're finding a percent, excuse me. 3.25% was the amount of tax. 3.25%. We were looking for the percent, not a dollar amount. And that's it, okay? So good, we kept the video under 15 minutes. You've got plenty of time. Try these problems on your own. Be careful, number one, you're looking for the percent of sales tax like we did right down here. The other two, you're looking for the total price. And I don't care which way you do it. You can use the proportion to find the tax, or you can just multiply by the percent. Whichever one you're more comfortable with works for me. Come show me your work when you're done. Let me make sure you understand what's going on, and good luck.